What the hell happened?
No, he came to work and he told me about what you did.
What are you doing? Why are you telling people? This was funny.
It was!
About how all I could do was call Ryan an ass. I was stumbling around, I passed out on the floor. For some reason I slept under his blanket. Or under his coat as a blanket. I got up and said I had to go to the bathroom, then went out the front door and peed on the doorstep. I kept trying to do my job at Ryan and calling him an ass.
Yeah, he said you came in and he goes, hello, thank you for calling next, hello, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, well,
congratulations, you feel embarrassed. Welcome to my world.
No, I'm completely dumbfounded that I was that drunk because I don't
No, there's nothing that drunk. I've done something worse. I actually used the bathroom, right?
Uh-huh.
I was so drunk, I walked out there and didn't notice it. My pants were still around my ankles.
Okay. I was an idiot when I was drunk one time.
How many of these do I
out at a campsite.
Hindrances.
Up to 10 points.
Now, this doesn't cover the fire story that apparently has stretched far and wide, and many people have heard about the man who set himself on fire at Camp David. But this story, which I don't think I've told too many people, I was drunk and at a campsite for camp, and we had gone walking, and so we were standing on this bluff over the main campsite. And in this drunken fit of urinary freedom, I decide to pee off the bluff. And so, like any good man, I'm gonna arc it pretty good. I'm a man, damn it. I pee standing up. And so I arc it out there and get going, and we hang out there for a while, and then when we get down there, I found out that apparently I had peed on my own camp. And a couple of people sitting there. And apparently my sleeping bag and several other people's. I had just rained urine down on my entire camp.
That's nothing. A bunch of me and my friends are hanging out, right?
Uh-huh.
We're all drunk and stoned as hell. One of them decides to take a piss.
Yeah.
Finds these bushes next to this fence. He starts pissing. Ouch! That hurts. Ouch!
He's
pissing on an electric fence, and electricity is going up his piss, shocking his penis, and he's just screaming bloody murder.
Josh has really good electrocution stories. Josh has been electrocuted a few times. We'll wait till he comes over. I remember there's this story going around gamers locally about a guy that set himself on fire at Camp David. And there's two stories, and the funniest part, I just started working in Compass. I was going through training class, and I met a cool guy there, and we were hanging out, and he tells me these stories about a guy out at Camp David who, first time he was there, he was drinking, talking to people, and having a good time, and some chick leans over to him and says, dude, you're on fire. And he thinks she's just joking because he had been, monopolizing the party and making everyone laugh. So he's like, yeah, I'm fucking cool and funny and shit. And she's like, no, dear, you're on fire. I don't know you well enough to grab you there, but your crotch is on fire. And apparently an ember had leaped out of the fire pit and landed on his crotch. And was starting to burn through his pants. So he gets up and hops around and is like, oh, damn it, beating his crotch, trying to put it out. Then later on, he's back at another campsite with a bunch of the camp people again for LARP, and everyone's sitting around drinking and talking, and it was getting colder and colder, and people go and get coats and blankets. He just keeps getting closer and closer to the fire. And you have this little fire that's set around a tree stump that they're trying to burn out. Mm-hmm. And there's a fire ring, like 2 feet out from the fire. Because it's supposed to be a big fire ring to put bonfires and whatnot in. This is a simple campfire. So he climbs inside the fire ring and sitting there next to the fire. And he keeps getting closer and closer to the fire. People are worried. It's like, Rob, are you okay? And what's going on? And why are you getting so close? And he's like, no, I'm fine. It's okay. Finally, people start packing up and leaving, and party starts to shrink down, and finally the last person goes, and they're like, we need to clean up here. And he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm going to be up for a while. It's okay. Then, the next morning, the guy wakes up, wrapped in his blanket, at the campfire. Stumbles out to his campsite, passes out for a few hours, comes back at like noon. As he comes back, it's the last day of the camp. Everyone's assembled. Everyone's making their announcements about what happened and what people are going to be doing. And he comes in. The whole camp starts cheering, clapping, whistling for him. He has no idea why. Apparently, come morning, some people had come down and found him sleeping in the fire pit. On the fire that was out. At first he wasn't wrapped in his blanket. Then later on that morning, apparently he went and got his blanket and went back to the fire pit to go back to sleep. And the guy that I'm working with is telling me these two stories. I'm like, wow, that's really great and funny. And you know the funniest part? I don't remember going and getting my blanket. And he's like, that was you? Holy crap! Yeah.
Talking about fires?